Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Now in today's topic, I answer the number one question that is on the mind of every intending entrepreneur and business owner in Nigeria, which is which company should I register? Should I register a business name or a limited liability company? Now in this video, I answer that particular question and I'm going to be sharing with you like the features of a business name, a limited liability company, and the pros and cons of the both of them. Now, if you stick to the end of this video, I have a bonus tip for you. So you want to watch this video to the end. If you haven't already subscribed, make sure you do so. Now, let's just get right into the video. Now, what is a business name? Is what we call a sole proprietorship. It is a one-man business, what you can call a solopreneur. So that kind of business is a business, it's a small business that only one person can form. Only in situations where you want to have a partner, but in most cases it's only one person for a one man business. So it's basically for people who if you're just starting business or a small business, you're into freelancing or online business, and you just want to get your foot in the door or just want to legalize your business, you can start with a business name. While the limited liability company is a bigger business, it has the word, anywhere you see limited, it has the word limited attached. There are three types of limited liability companies. There are companies that are limited by shares, companies that are limited by guarantee, and then companies that are unlimited. Now, for the sake of this video, we're strictly going to stick to companies limited by shares. So it basically means that where the directors or the shareholders of the companies are only limited by the shares that they have in the company. Let's say, for example, right, I have 20% of shares in a company. Now, my own liability or my indebtedness to that company will only be restricted to that 20% that I own in the company. No more, no less. Okay, so let's go to the cons, the pros and the cons of business name and limited company. Now, for a business name, the pros, that is the advantages of a business name, it is that it is cheaper to register. Okay, it is pretty, it's not like it's cheap, but at least it's cheap and affordable for somebody who is just starting up a business to register. It has fewer regulations, both pre-registration and after registration. So if before you even register it or during the process, the regulations are not as strict. It is very pretty straightforward. What you need is just the name of the proprietor and the proprietor's details, the name of the company, and then the objects are just like three. So you can easily fill it into one sentence. It's not so complicated or elaborate that a layman cannot understand it. And then even for the filing of the annual returns, it's pretty straightforward as well. You don't need statement of affairs or company activities or anything like that. It's just easy and straight to the point, and you can easily file that too. And it's very good for people that are into freelancing, online businesses, and small business owners, or people who are solopreneurs or small entrepreneurs who are just starting out. So it is a very good recommendation for those kind of people. Now, what are the cons, right? What are the disadvantages of a business name? One of the disadvantages is that it does not have legal separation and there is no legal protection for your business. So a business name is presumed to be a one-man business. So the owner and the business are one and the same people. They are not different. They don't separate them. So let's say there is a liability or there is an issue that has to be taken care of. The business owner will have to take the risk, and the business owner will have to be responsible for any liability that comes out of it. Let's say the business owes suppliers or anything like that. The business owner, they can sue the owner and the business because they are both the same people, and the owner will be made to pay for any liability that accrues from it. So they are both one and the same person. There's no legal protection for business name. And then another thing is taxes. If you want to file your tax for a business name, there's not enough, should I say, grace period for you. Once you start, the following year you have to start filing annual returns, you have to start filing taxes. And the thing is, you get to pay your taxes in IRS, not FRS. So it's the state government, and they usually, when you want to file your tax, they'll request that you provide your own bank statements, your personal bank statement, because they believe that business name, the owner and the business are the same, so they can tax you from your own personal account. There's no separate account. And then the issues of decision making, like, only one person, they say two heads are better than one. It's only one person that makes the decision. It's nobody has to scrutinize it or check it to see if it is okay. It is only just one person. Another disadvantage is that it's harder for you to get funding for a business. Whether you're looking for funding in international organizations or you're trying to get loans from bank or government agencies. Let's say the government has released funds for agricultural business, and you need funding. It is harder for you to get. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it is harder for you to get funding. Then another thing is your brand will not be really taken seriously. So if you are doing a business and presume that they have already categorized you as a small business owner, so it really does not give your brand a lot of credibility. So let's move, now that we've known the pros and cons of a business name, let's move to the limited liability company. For the limited liability company, one of the main advantages of a limited liability company is that you have legal protection. The business and the owners or the directors and shareholders are separate people. The business takes liability for anything that may arise. It's only in cases of fraud that they begin to remove the veil and then start holding the director or who was responsible for the fraud liable. If there's no fraud or anything like that, it's the business. So they can own business in their own name, in that name. Let's say it's Joy Limited. I can acquire property in the name of Joy Limited. I can sue in the name of Joy Limited. They can also sue me in the name of Joy Limited. So you have legal protection and it attracts big clients and funding as well. So if for limited liability companies, I know that investors would also like to be shareholders of the company, unlike the business name, where there's not much opportunity for that. A limited liability company can easily be shares and then they redistribute or restructure the shares to give to the investors, because the investors usually want to be part of the business. So a limited liability company gives you the opportunity to be able to bring in investors into your business, and it also opens room for funding from organizations or from government agencies. It's easier for you to apply for loans as well. People tend to want to trust limited liability companies better. So that, which brings me to the next point, is that it gives you more credibility, and it puts you in a space where people are able to respect your brand. And then it's easier also for growth, because it's easier for you to scale from a limited company to a PLC than from a business name to a limited then a PLC. Like, the line is still long, so it's easier that way for you to structure from a limited company to a PLC, which is bigger. There's much more prospects in it, and then people can easily trust you because there's a channel of decision making. There's not only one person that gets to make the decision. There are directors, there are shareholders, there's company secretary that helps the company stay compliant to regulations and other compliance agencies. So I'd say that a limited liability company really has a lot of advantages as well. So the cons, what are the cons of a limited liability company? It is expensive. So if you are somebody that is just starting out and you don't have a lot of money, it's expensive. Not that it's that expensive or too expensive, so it's expensive. It's more expensive than a business name, to register. We'll have to deal with more compliance and regulations. Even in the registration, the documents and preparation are more. And then, compliance after registration is more. Let's say you go and register a business that needs Kumo for you to start. You cannot just go and open a bank account and just start running your business immediately. You must comply with that SCOMO regulation before you go and get before you start running your business. And it's really not like an ABC thing. Another thing is you need to know how to manage directors in the company. So it's some companies even have who have investors who have been really doing business, they or who have plans to do a big business or to scale up. You have issues of directors and shareholders that you have to properly manage for the business to be able to stabilize. So I would say that if you are somebody that is just starting out and you want to get your foot in the door and you don't have a lot of money, but you still want to comply with the regulation of legalizing your business, I say start with a business name. But if you are somebody that you feel like the business has prospects, and you are somebody that you are thinking big, or you want your business, you want to be able to position yourself advantageously for funds or for loans or for investments, I'd say start with a limited liability. If you are still watching this video and you haven't already subscribed, make sure you subscribe and put on your notification bell so that you get notified when I share a legal tip. The thing is, if you started with a business name or you want to start with a business name, let's say you don't have much money now and you want to start with a business name, what you can do, or what I advise you to do, is start with the business name first. Start building your brand, start doing business. Just start with something first, and then later you can scale up to a limited liability. You can easily, upgrade from a business name to a limited liability company. I'm going to be talking about how you can upgrade your business name to a limited company, so you want to watch out for that video. In the comment section, which of the companies you would like to register will best suit your business at this point in time. I want to thank you guys for watching this video to the end. Until I see you guys in my next video. Bye.